welcome everyone to November and to the energy that surrounds us. I'm your host, Michael, and tonight I am joined by Wow, that's a fun way to start.
It's all good.
Can't even say the word paranormal. That's going to be a fun night tonight. But a paranormal team that has been on before, and I'm so grateful to have them on again. And so, if you watch our first episode, we do our introductions there. So, I think since we've already done that, why don't we just jump into you both sharing what you're up to now and what's new with the Ghost Sisters?
Well, what we're up to, just looking for new locations to investigate. Which, speaking of, I do have a new location this Friday that we will be investigating. It's a residential case.
Ooh, sounds like fun. So, what has been going on since we talked? I think it was last year we talked, or earlier this year. So, what's been going on with Ghost Sisters?
Well, we've been doing a lot of investigations, and just we've been sticking around Ohio a lot here lately. Not by choice. It's just we've been contacted a lot, and a lot of people reaching out here in Ohio wanting us to go to their locations. So mainly, we've been in Ohio for a while now, versus going out of state, which we do go out of state, but we've been in Ohio here more recently.
Yeah, so did you guys have a good Halloween?
Mandy did. She always does.
I was more Morticia, and my husband, of course, was Gomez. And it's my mom throws a big Halloween party, and we have a blast every year.
Well, that's cool. So what happened, Chastity? You ended up having to work, or?
I went, but I didn't really want to get all dressed up, so I just went as a jailbird.
She did. Her and her husband, they were jailbirds.
Something easy that I can be comfy in, throw on, and be done.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with that. I wore a Bucky's Halloween shirt.
I told Chastity, I said, your husband didn't have to go buy that jumpsuit. He could have just told me he was going to be that, and my husband could have brought him home one to wear.
Oh. So, Mandy, I want to again thank you for your service in law enforcement and everything. And I'm just kind of curious, since it's been a long time, do you miss it? Do you ever think about going back into it? Or are you like, nope, I'm done. I'm sticking to strictly investigating the ghost now?
I do miss it. I do. And I even tell my husband, I'm like, sometimes I do wonder what it'd be like to walk back through the place, and see, just for old time's sake. I do miss it because I had a lot of fun. I did. It was fun for me. It was always something new, It wasn't the same repetition as to working in a factory work. You never knew what was going to pop off. It could be you go into work one day, everything's good, and easy day, or you could go in and then next thing you know, all hell's breaking loose. You just don't know. It's just one of those. It's a thrill working in that type of environment. And I actually started the team when I was working in law enforcement. So we used to go on the weekends before I had weekends off. And didn't we, Chastity? We did a lot on the weekends that I had to go into work the next day because I was working first. Those were long days. Huh?
I said I couldn't do that job. I'd have to kill somebody, beat somebody. I'd be in jail myself.
But
Michael, you look familiar. How do I know you from somewhere? You look familiar.
Me?
Yeah, you look familiar.
You were on the. This is your second time on the show.
That's why you look familiar then. Okay.
I wasn't for sure if she was on it the last time or not. If she joined me, I couldn't remember. We've done so much, so many podcasting. You know,
I think it was Chastity that was on last time with you.
Well, you look familiar, so good possibility.
I think you last time you came in right from work and was like rushing to get on and was like, don't have time to eat, but I got cleaned up. And I was like, well, at least you got cleaned up. Didn't have to. You're on a screen. But okay. But yeah, and I'm kind of curious because I view law enforcement as an untapped source because it's so restricted what they can and cannot share. Has there ever been a case where something unexplained happened? And I don't mean unexplained as in, who committed the crime. I mean unexplained like you saw something that you just to this day cannot explain.
well, I had a lot of things going on when I worked there. I would have them spirits would be messing with the radios a lot. I'd be down in the control room working down in female housing, and this would be during the day. And one time I went down to give a female officer a break, and she had already was telling me, she as soon as I walked in, she's like, okay, Mandy, she goes, don't you be down here conjuring up any spirits. She goes, I'm already hearing voices down here, and she's a little freaked out. I said, I'm not going to do that, come on now. And she walks out, and I'm sitting down and watching all the cameras, and the radio's on, and all of a sudden that radio just switched, turned into white noise, and I hear a guy come through the radio, and he says, help me. And I'm like, my eyes got really big, and I just turned around and stood up, and I walked right towards the radio, and he says, help me. And I'm like, does somebody need help? And then radio kicks right back on. So that was pretty crazy. I've heard women spirits when I've worked down in female housing. I've had stuff fly off in the control room when I've walked in down in male housing. As soon as I'd walk into the control room, which the control room is a place where the officers go back in once they're done doing rounds, and then you have an officer that watches the cameras in case anybody's wondering what the control room is. But as soon as they would let me into the control room, something would go like flying off the shelf sometimes. Not all the time, but I did have it happen a couple times. And I'm like, oh boy. But there was a lot of people that passed away when I worked there throughout the 8 years of working there. There was a lot of deaths.
I can imagine. And Chastity, have you come across anything in your line of work?
I work with businesses, so I work with individuals and businesses, so I mainly work from home and wherever I need to, anywhere I want to go. So not really.
Yeah, the reason I asked really is because I was actually I was at a location just having fun with a couple of my friends, and a sheriff's deputy walked up and was just checking because there were a lot of cars in the parking lot. What's going on? And he told me the wildest story, and the only people that can confirm this is him and his other deputy that was 3 miles behind him on the road. But they were driving towards a city in Texas. It's called Pilot Point. And he goes, I just saw a beam of light come down from the sky, hit the city in the heart, and it looked like it pulsed 3 times. And he goes, and I know what a transformer looks like. That's a blue and a green flash. That was not this. The whole town goes dark. And then the beam goes back up to the sky. All the lights are back on. And he goes, I cannot explain what that was. And I was like, neither can I. But this is super cool. And so I was like, I was wishing I could have him on as a guest, but he was like, unfortunately, I gave my last card out and they haven't ordered us new ones yet. And so in the back of my mind, I was like, is that a cover story because you don't want to get in trouble with your boss, or did you really run out of cards? I'm not sure. But
Well, a lot of times the inmates will talk about seeing spirits, seeing shadows and stuff, I even had I had a man that was in spirit follow me. Chastity, I don't remember you being with me. It was the time you was there. Yeah, you was with us. Remember, it was the weekend. We went to the Gill House in Bucyrus. No, it wasn't Bucyrus, Gallion, Ohio. And it was the Gill House. And do you remember I was at work and I was on first? It was Saturday. I took my clothes to work so I could change. And my plan was to get something to eat and go straight to the Gill House, which is a huge mansion. And I told my team, I said, I'll meet you guys there. So when I went into the locker room, I was hearing things in there and there was nobody in the locker room but me. Something knocked the soap dish into the sink. And I was like, oh my God, I knew there was something in there with me. I was like, man, something's in here. I didn't feel comfortable. And I just knew something was going to follow me. And sure enough, when we got to the Gill House, I don't know if Chastity remembers, but I said, there's a man following me, guys. There's a man following me from work. And when we were down in the basement and we turned on our spirit box and we hooked the Bluetooth up to it, very clear when I asked, do you know my name? And this guy yells through the spirit box and he said, Metzger. He didn't call him. Well, I wasn't married at that time. I was with me and my husband. We were together, but I wasn't married. So this spirit was calling me by my last name that he knew before he passed. Who calls you by your last name? An inmate would call me by my last name. This guy was calling me by my maiden name that he knew me as before he passed. And I was like, oh my God, I knew it. I knew something followed me. But that was cool. That was cool because to get a spirit call you by your last name, I mean, how often do you get that in this field?
right, and
I've had it a couple.
Yeah, I was gonna say with Michael, I'm like that's a common name, so
Yeah.
People say they hear it all the time, and I'm like, I didn't hear it, but kudos to you for hearing it because I just think it's so common. I don't listen for it because I'm like, yeah, I'm listening for the more uncommon, like your last name. I would be listening for that, and that would be like, that's proof. My name, that could be.
Yeah.
A radio station could easily use my name.
We've had Chastity's name come through the ink box, and that's her name. I'm not saying it ain't a common name, but I've only heard it maybe 4 times. Her name throughout my life. I've heard other people with that name. We've had Chastity come through the spirit box, and it was pretty cool to hear that.
What was that like, Chastity?
I don't know. I don't know. Just weird. Sometimes they communicate with me, and sometimes they don't. Sometimes I get a good reaction out of them when I treat them like normal people.
Chastity always wants that. She's waiting on that wow moment, But and Chastity always says that she's not afraid of no ghost. And I'm going to make her a T-shirt that says that. But you know what's funny, Michael?
I keep hearing.
Go ahead, Chastity. Tell them about when we just investigated that museum.
The door kept popping open on us. Mandy kept saying it was just the door because it was old. It wasn't
It
popping up
scared
on
the
its
crap out of
own,
me.
even though it kept doing it on cue.
I was trying to debunk, but it was so funny, Michael, because we walk into this room and we're at a big museum, and we're upstairs, and we walk into this room, and we're live, and Chastie's just kind of walking around looking at stuff. And she sees this door's open. So she walks over and says, I'm going to shut this door. So she shuts the door. And then she comes back over and she's standing kind of by me. And all of a sudden, that door just popped open and scared the crap out of both of us. And it scared her. I said, oh my gosh, Chastity. I said, you shut that door, right? She said, yes. And I said, go back over there and shut the door. She would not go back over there.
I did a couple times and it kept opening. Then you went over there and did it. I said, I ain't doing it no more. You can do it.
She was scared. She says, I'm not going back over there. And I thought that was the funniest thing because she's always saying she ain't scared, but that scared her.
And just because I didn't want to go back over there don't mean nothing.
Yeah. So the skeptic in me is like, was there a lot of time that passed between the door opening and being closed, or was it instant?
No, there was probably a good 10 seconds after she had shut it. So I was trying to debunk it, and
Longer than that.
it didn't seem like it was that long. So anyway, I was like, go back over there, Chastity. She goes, oh, I'm not going back over there, you. So I go over and I shut the door, and I even pushed on the door, and I pulled on the handle to make sure that it, wouldn't come open once I had shut it. And I walk away, and I don't know how much time passed, but it was seconds. And the door popped right back open.
We asked them, and they said that's never happened before. So nobody else had that issue.
And I thought, well, this is an old place built in the early 1800s. This is an older door. I mean, there wasn't really no draft up there. I mean, it was just it had a bunch of boxes in the closet. So they never really used it for nothing but that. But I kept going back over there trying to debunk that because I'm like, could it be spirit? Maybe. Or is this just an old door that doesn't want to stay latched?
But it was doing it on cue. Every time we told
it did it like
it opened the door. It did it a couple times on cue. So that's why we think it was spirit.
I would.
I'm a little on the fence with it still because it wasn't it was an older door.
Yeah, but if you check the latch and you weren't able to pull it open, that means something had to physically move the latch to open it. So that to me would say that is definitely a spirit of some kind because wind can't open a latch.
There was definitely spirit. A guy was following us around that night. We actually captured a disembodied voice that I haven't shared yet on my social media. I keep forgetting to. And to me, it sounded like he said Mandy. When I first was reviewing our video, because we did a walkthrough, we filmed it. We wasn't live either when we did that. I filmed it, and I went back with my earbuds, and I was listening, and I heard it clear as day, but I don't know. I was going to share it to my social media and see what everyone else thought they heard, but everybody hears things different. But I heard my name clear as day. I felt like that guy was following us that night. And I feel like it was children messing with us that night. But Chastity, the weird thing is, Michael, when we were doing that walkthrough, and this is before the door even popped open, because that happened during the live. But before we went live, we did a walkthrough and filmed it. And Chastity actually went to try to, what was it? What happened, Chastity? I remember you did something, and I was like, was that you? And she's like, no. What happened, Chastity? Tell everybody what you experienced.
I can't remember what you're talking about.
Oh my gosh, Chastity.
I'm feeling like Chastity's got stage fright tonight. She's being like really quiet.
Chastity is
no, I just don't. We do this so much; it's hard to keep up with everybody to remember everything.
It was just recently, Chastity. You went over to grab the door, to see if it would open, and something pulled it back on you.
I don't remember that.
Oh God, Lord.
I'll have to go back and watch it, I guess. I don't remember that. I just remember the door popping open when I shut it.
This was a different time. It was the same place, but before that happened. I don't know. She's something else.
Well, Steve is mentioning, Mandy, we had our names mentioned on the Estes the other week.
Oh
I'm
yeah, yeah.
not even going to try to pronounce that last name. No offense. I just feel like I'm going to butcher it.
Yeah, we had our event at the Brownella Cottage in Galion, Ohio. We just had our big event on Friday, and people bought tickets to come and investigate with us, and we were rotating with people. But after towards the end of the night, once we were done rotating with people, we give people the option to go off and they can investigate on their own, and they do their own thing. So I had a few people that hung with me, and we went and investigated, and Steve was one of them. And his name kept coming through the box. My name came through the box. It was pretty good. It was an interesting night. That location is very good. It's very active there.
Trying to remember what you said because I don't remember. Refresh my memory. What was I by?
What are you talking about?
Whatever it was you was talking about.
The door, I think. She's
trying to remember. Oh, Lord. Chastity, it was the museum. We were upstairs walking through, and not all them doors were open.
Was it on the first floor, second floor, or is there even a second floor?
Well, just tell the story. You done started it.
I already told everybody. We can move on from that.
No, you didn't, because you asked me to tell it, but I didn't remember it.
No, it was just you. We were walking down there, and she went to grab the door and to open it and see if that room was open, because they had some of the rooms locked. And when she went to grab it, she said something grabbed it.
Oh, yeah. Now I know what you're talking about. Yeah. Now I remember. When we was walking down the hall, is that what you was talking about? And I shut the door. Oh, I thought, now I remember what you're talking about. Yeah, I didn't even touch it, and it moved.
Mm-hmm. But I was like, what happened? And she just was like, the door moved. You could hear it. I heard it. And that's why I was like, I looked at her, I'm like, what the heck was that? And she said, no, the door moved. And I didn't even do nothing. I went to grab it and it moved. So, but we couldn't get in. It was one of those doors where they had that closed off to where you couldn't go in. And she was just trying to see if the door was open, if we could go in and check it out. And
they had some of the doors blocked off.
Yeah.
I remember when I had my first cabinet door move, and it only happened once. I've had it move on its own, almost like on command or doing however it wanted to do. And that was a moment I was like, oh, I have had an experience like you see on TV now. I can chalk that off my list. Do you guys get those kind of feelings where you're like, oh, I thought this only happened on TV. I'm seeing it now right in front of me.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I have. Are you talking about when we're out there investigating, or are you talking about like in our own homes or anything?
Both.
I've had all kinds of crazy stuff happen, Michael. We'd be here all night.
I remember when we was at that one house and I said, did you have a lot of whores up in here? And it said, yeah, or something like that. Remember?
Yeah, we was at a bar in a hotel, and through the ink box, Chastity's asking this guy, a spirit, and he responded to her with the question that she just mentioned. And he said that he was laughing through the box and talking about the women that he was with.
I said, you have a lot of hoes up in here? And they said, yeah, plain as day.
I've often wondered, if when you go into a brothel, did they consider themselves as working in a brothel so they'll respond accordingly, or did they view themselves as something else and be like, we're not going to talk to you if you're going to talk to us that way?
Well, they the weird thing was this place was 120 years old, and we don't know if they might have had ladies of the night there. And so we're thinking maybe there was ladies of the night, but we really don't know. So it could have been, it's a bar with a hotel upstairs above it. So I don't know, but it's an old place, 120 years old. So who knows that they don't even know, the people that own it.
Yeah, and I'm kind of curious your guys' thoughts of. I've recently, started looking at what we experience on investigations, like the spirits that seem to be repeating themselves, and my mind is going blank for the term we use for that, but I hope I'm describing it right. And the intellectual and, those three categories because we don't actually really know who we're talking to. I've
Yeah.
started thinking, could this be a spot where like a parallel universe is visible and we're looking at somebody in another universe going through their daily routine, and we think we're looking at a ghost from the past and it could be current day for them.
Yeah. Yeah. And we don't know if we're really talking to a man, a woman, a child. It could be something else. Pretending to be that. You just don't
Yeah.
know.
And I've just, started just thinking about, how little we know and we're assuming something and going, are we, do we need to stop assuming and maybe start to look at how we're communicating and addressing? Because I was talking with a couple of people in like shadow beings. There is, I don't know if you believe in the astral realm. Well,
Mhm.
there's shadow realms in there. So that could be a visitor from that realm here and deciding, do we want to make contact with these people or not? And worse than you're assuming, oh, you're a bad shadow. And it's like, man, first contact gets really bad rep because it's like, yeah, they're like, I don't want to talk to those people. They treat us bad. We
Yeah.
didn't even do anything.
Yeah.
We don't disrespect any spirits. We treat them like a normal person.
Yeah. I'm just curious if you guys ever think about that, being like, ever get the feeling of, could we be talking to somebody who's not actually from this world?
Oh yeah. 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 Like I said, I mean, we don't really know who we're talking to. They might sound like, man, woman, child, whatever, but are we really talking to them?
Mandy gets a lot of growls.
Yeah.
I get growls, and it's crazy because I just investigated the Prospect Place Sunday night, and I was with my friend Sean Austin, and I was there, and it's him. I tell him it's him. I'm like, it's you, because he's a demonologist, and I said, you got some stuff following you, man, because I've been to the Prospect Place in Ohio before, and I never had no growling, and we were up in the attic, Michael, and I'm telling you, everything was pretty cool. Just a few angry spirits down on the first floor and the second floor. Nothing crazy. We get up in that attic and all hell breaks loose. And I ain't gonna lie to you, I was a little nervous. I mean, I didn't leave the attic or anything like that. But what made me nervous was we started hearing growls coming through his recorder. And then we started hearing movement in the attic. Now, it is a huge attic. a very clean attic. I did not see no animals up there. Now, I'm not saying there couldn't have been a mouse or something up there. There very well could have been. It's a huge place and I can't see, everything in the dark. But we did walkthroughs and stuff. I didn't see anything like that. Very clean. So we were hearing movement and I was like, okay, because I would ask it to make a noise and it would like tap. And and you always got to try to debunk, is that really them? I try to go for like an intelligent response. So if it's going to respond after I ask it, then I like to believe. I personally want to believe it's them responding. So anyway, we had that happen. Then we had the growls, and then he was playing back the recorder again. I heard this. Oh my God, it was so loud. This growl had tone to it, man. I mean, it was right next to him. And I was sitting over here on the right side. He was next to me. And this came from right next to him. And I'm telling you, it was loud. We heard it come over the recorder. He was playing back the recorder. That's how loud this growl was next to him. And it didn't come out of the recorder. It was literally an audible sound that we heard with our ears. And we both, and I thought, honestly, I didn't want to believe it was a growl. I said, I thought he burped or something. I said it real, I like freaked out because soon as I was getting ready to say, did you burp? Because I heard the noise, and what made me react to him was because he goes, well, what the hell was that? And he turned his head and he looked. And that's when I said, oh my God, I thought you burped or something. And I knew he heard what I heard. And it wasn't him. Of course he didn't burp, but that's what I thought. But no. And I captured it when I was live, and I actually put the video out. You could hear it. You could hear that thing. It had tone. It had tone to it. And I didn't feel comfortable. I said, I don't know about this. I'm like, I'm not leaving the attic. And I didn't. I stayed where I was, but it got real uncomfortable in there after I heard that growl.
Yeah.
For me, it did.
Yeah. So Jeff in the chat room is asking if we can see his messages. Yes, we can. I can't respond to you, Jeff, because you're through Mandy's channel. So I put them up on the screen, and Jasmine Mary, you're seeing a different chat because you're on my channel. So you're seeing what's on my channel. So that's why the chat room's a little different tonight, is because we got two different chat rooms running.
Yeah.
So everybody can see you, Jeff, so you're good.
Everybody's saying hello to us, Chastity, so you say hello.
Hello, everybody. I got to get up early, so I can't stay on here too much longer.
She looked like she's about to fall asleep from the time she got on.
I know. That's what I was wondering.
Oh, wake up, man. Wake up.
Still trying to wake up since the drink y'all had me taking earlier. Long drink.
Oh, I feel like there's a story there.
Oh, we went out to eat earlier with
every time we go anywhere to eat with my sister and my mom, they got to have alcohol involved. And I don't care if it's 11, 12 o'clock in the afternoon. They got to have alcohol involved.
We'll have a drink. We had a drink earlier.
And that one I drank, it was a strong drink. And I've been busy all day today, just tired. My neck's killing me from sitting on this chair all day.
No worries. Oh, we actually have a question from Paranormal Perth, Western Australia. Mandy, would you ever investigate out of the USA?
Yes, most definitely.
You don't got to ask Mandy that question. Mandy investigating UFO China. She don't give a crap. She'll even go to Mars to investigate. Trust me, you don't need to ask that question.
I know. I was thinking as I read that going, I think the bigger question is, Chastity, would you ever investigate out of the USA?
If I can make a vacation out of it, hell to the yes.
See, to answer his question, I definitely would go. I want to. I actually want to. Yes. My husband already said if I want to go, he'd fly me out. But I don't want to go alone. Being in another state. I mean, I ain't gonna lie, I probably would knowing me, but I might be a little uncomfortable. Um,
And I've already volunteered because we talked about this before. If you ever needed a luggage carrier, I was like, I'll volunteer if I wanted to go there
Oh,
too.
but I want to go to Ireland. I want to go to I would love to go see Dracula's castle. I mean, I got a lot of places on my bucket list that I do want to go. Yeah.
Yeah. So Jeff is talking apparently about if you guys heard about a house fire, and he mentioned it earlier, and I'm trying to go back into the chat to see. I think, yeah, here it is. Did you all hear about the fire in Columbus?
no.
No.
The Kenton house.
Oh, no. I don't think I've even heard of the Kenton house. Have you, Tess?
Heard of
Huh.
Blair House. He said something about a Blair House.
Huh.
Yeah, he's
No.
looking to see if anybody heard about Kenton house fire in Columbus, Ohio. But yeah, everyone's wanting to go to Ireland with you, Mandy. I mean, shoot, I'll go. You mentioned Ireland, and the whole chat's like, "I'll go." I
I
have family
want
near
to
there.
go. So Chastity, you
Actually,
live at home.
Dracula's castle's in Transylvania, which is in Romania.
Hey, Mandy don't get into Dracula and stuff. I tried to get her to go to the vampire tour, and she wouldn't even go. She'd go on a ghost tour when we was in New Orleans, but she
Oh,
wouldn't go.
I love vampire movies. Don't get it wrong. I
She
do.
didn't want to go on their tour.
Well, we were in New Orleans and she's right. We went on the ghost tour. I was all about it. And then she wanted to do the vampire tour and I'm like, "Come on now. No. No, I'm not doing that one."
Yeah. Someone's saying you should have gone.
Yep, you should have. That's on my bucket list. I'm going back.
Well, I'm going to tell you though, I do want to go to Ireland. I'll go. I would love to go to the castles. I really would love to go. And there's also a place that I really want to go, but unfortunately, there's only three of us girls, so a lot of these places cost a lot to get into. I do want to go to the Poltergeist house over in California. So I've kind of been
What's that name of that one I went
looking
to
into
in
that
California?
one. I'm kind of looking into it.
What's the name of that one I went to in California?
Oh, the
They made a
Winchester.
movie on it.
The
Winchester
Winchester.
House. Yeah,
Yeah.
I went to the Winchester House, and then I went on a tour in Las Vegas to Zach Bagans Museum.
So I gotta ask: is everything they talk about, like energy wise and the mystique, is that really the Winchester, or is that more hype to get more people to come in?
Um, I don't know. I didn't feel anything, but they wouldn't let us take pictures in there, even though I snuck a couple.
You're going to get
Um,
kicked out.
but they were very strict on what we did in there, and they told a lot of stories, so I didn't feel anything negative in there when I was in there. But my energy, I don't pick up a lot like Mandy does.
What do you think about the legends of the house? Do you think she really built the rooms to trap the
I'll tell you,
spirits? And
I don't know, man, but it's like walking in a maze.
You know what I think? I think she really was. I think she was terrified of these spirits and she was building onto that to try to trap them, to stay away from her. I really think she was. I think so.
Yeah, we got to see the room she died in, everything. They took us on a tour of everything, and they had some rooms blocked off. But it was pretty neat. I bought Mandy a book that talked all about it. She didn't like it. I'm like, well, fine, I'll keep it.
well, sometimes reading about it and actually walking through it are two different things.
Yeah, yeah. That's what I
Yeah.
would have rather done. I'd rather walk through it
Well, it's the thought that counts.
than read about
Yeah.
it. She's been to but to Zach's place. Like, how many times you been there, Chastity?
2 or 3 times.
Yeah, she's like obsessed with
That's
that.
really creepy.
Yeah. Oh, Jeff is saying that house that he was asking about is known for the Underground Railroad.
Is he talking about
The
the house?
Keaton House,
The house in Columbus?
Columbus.
I don't know. I'll have to look that up, Chastity. See if you see anything about that in Columbus.
When did it happen?
He says it happened today, so I don't
Oh,
know.
well, I don't know if it happened today. He's asking if anyone's heard about it. I'm assuming it's recent.
She's looking to see. We can see your messages, Jeff. But
Oh, he says yes, it did happen today, apparently.
today? Okay. Hmm.
But I will say the one time I ever cringed looking at the Winchester was when Destination Fear went through, and we're like, we're gonna do it completely in the dark, and they're
Yeah.
all running around. And Dakota at one point goes up to a doorway, stops and looks down, and goes, "I almost died. If I had taken one step more, I would have fallen down and probably died." I was like, why in a house that's a complete maze would you go dark?
I don't see anything about it on. I don't see anything about it on Facebook.
I think
He
he's
says,
saying 10 TV in Columbus. Maybe it's on the news or something.
hmm.
Maybe look up Keaton House. It's Keaton.
Kenton. That's where our parent. That's where my mom. Our
No,
mom lives.
Chastity, you're not listening. It's Keaton, not Kenton.
Keaton. Oh well, he was saying Kenton earlier. That's what I thought. That's why it threw me off.
Well, that's what it looks like how it's pronounced to me. I'm guessing here. That's why sometimes I wonder if it'd be nicer if we could have audio messages come through.
Yeah.
Where
Give it time. It'll be coming out. They come out with everything else. Historic
oh, Jeff
town.
says yes, it was on the news.
Huh. Well, no, we've never been to that location, Jeff, and I've never. It's not.
After
Doesn't
an
sound
explosion
familiar.
and fire ripped through the historic Kelton House Museum and
Yeah.
Garden. Tonight, the 173-year-old landmark has extensive smoke and water damage. The total extent of damage is still unknown.
Dang, that
Good
looks
evening, and thank
bad.
you for joining us for NBC.
Is that nearby where you guys are?
Yeah,
Yeah.
an hour.
Stephanie says Chastity Kelton House. So now we're getting another name for
Well, first we heard Kenton House, then we heard Kenton House. Now we're hearing Kelton House. Somebody needs to make up their mind.
I know Tiffany is chiming in. It's Kelton, so
Yeah, I've never heard of that location. I'm surprised. Shoot.
It doesn't say. It just says historical downtown.
It's probably not a place that you can investigate. Maybe it's
It
just.
says Kelton House.
It's
Kelton. It's a museum, house museum.
Oh man,
Kelton.
man, it
Kelton.
burned down before we got to it. Dang it! I never heard of this location.
actually it might be better now because the fire probably stirred up a lot of things.
If they got any.
And the reconstruction will stir up even more, so it may be even more active now.
Well, I'm not going unless it warms up. She can go by herself.
Can you picture her as a spirit? You know, the spirits are always complaining they're cold. She ain't never going to let that down. I'm going to be hearing this in the afterlife with her. It's going to drive me nuts.
I'll be in heaven. I wouldn't give two shits.
All she does in the winter, though, is it's cold. It's cold. Oh, my God, Lord.
Yeah. Ooh, a gas explosion. That's not good.
Yeah, that's what I said. It might be burnt down.
Oh, Nikki in Australia is saying we should go to the Kalamunda Hotel. It's very active in Perth.
Where's that at?
Perth is on the northern side of Australia, if I'm not mistaken.
Ooh,
They're all like, it's a
Australia got some
bad
big
fire.
bugs over there.
How many historical places have you three been to so far? Ooh, that's a good question.
We have been to, there's I can't, 67, 67 Alaska. I don't know, man. There's so many of them sites like that we've been to. I can't even count them all on one hand. I've actually lost track of how many locations we've been to in the past 8 years. I wish I would have done this when I first started the team. I wish I would have wrote down and kept track of everything, all the places I've been to.
All you gotta do is go through Facebook. It's all on there.
Well, a good majority of them are, but a lot of time when we started going live, it would say your video would be deleted after 30 days, So
Yeah.
a lot of it might not have, been saved. I don't know. We've been doing this a long time, so I just wish I'd have kept track.
I keep a file, whether I have photos in it or not. I keep a file just so I know I've been to that area.
Nice.
And so Nikki corrected me. Perth is on Western Australia. And Jeff said the house is about to collapse.
Yeah, dang it. That sucks because I never heard of it, and it just sucks that it's being, burnt down, and maybe we could have had an opportunity to go there. You never know.
Yeah. And Lawanda Dix 3 is asking, have you been to Tombstone, Arizona?
No.
I've been to Arizona, but never for an investigation. I was just I was on vacation. I've been wanting to go to Tombstone, but no, haven't been there yet.
Ooh, I have. I
All right,
actually went
Michael, I'm
this
sorry.
April.
I'm gonna let you guys go. Thank you for inviting me on.
Well, thank you for coming on. And I know with your work, yeah, you got to leave early. So thank you.
You're
And
welcome. It was nice meeting you and talking to
I'm
you.
staying on, Michael. Don't worry about that.
Maybe I'll stay all night long. She ain't got nothing. This is her.
all right. Well, Chastity, thank you for what you're doing with the paranormal community.
Oh, I think you're welcome. I do it to help Mandy out more than anything, but it's interesting at the same time. You know what I mean?
It is, and we appreciate it.
I'm waiting on the wow moment, and it's going to happen. I've had a couple, but not like enough to freak me out yet.
Careful what you ask for.
It better be a good one. No, nothing evil. All right, well, you guys have a good night.
You too.
All right, we'll see you.
All right, bye.
Bye bye. And Lawanda's asking, Bisbee, Arizona is very haunted too. That I haven't been to.
Yeah, I haven't been to no locations over in Arizona to investigate yet, but I'd like to. I've been to the Louise Asylum. Yep. Chastity too.
Let's see. Nikki's asking, Mandy, would you go back to the first jail you had your first experience?
Yes, I would. Yes, I would. Actually, I'm trying to think of the first jail was that I investigated. Well, the first jail, well, I didn't investigate, of course, where I worked at in law enforcement. I worked in a huge jail that held males and females. But that was my first experience over there while being a paranormal investigator. But I've been to, I can't remember the first jail that I actually went to. Let me think.
Well, I think she was saying that you had experience in. And Jeff Taflin is saying goodnight to everybody.
Good night, Jeff. I would go back to it, yes. And to be honest, jails, I love jails and prisons because working in law enforcement, I think I get a lot of good communication with the spirits. Sometimes I will wear my a vest I have, an actual real vest, and let them know, hey, I'm a former corrections officer. I talk to them, and I think I get a lot of responses. So I do love to go to jails and prisons.
I'm going to a jail this Saturday. It's the Texas Jailhouse. It's in Palestine, Texas. And I think you would love it there. It's 3 levels. And on the second level, they have the handle that you would turn to close the doors. It still will slam the door. We were doing the main door to the area, and then I found out, and then talking with someone, that if you find a way to keep cranking it, all the other cell doors will close. And I was like, ooh, a working one. So we have a lot of fun doing like B-roll footage with the standing there as a door slams.
So there was a couple jails in our hometown that we went to. Good night, Stephanie. There was the oldest jail, a very small jail that we did investigate in our hometown, and I'll never forget it. They might have held, maybe it had like 6 rooms in it, cells, and they had a small booking area where they booked them in, but you couldn't see the cells, but you could see where the cells were on the floor. You could see all that, the imprint of that. And I'll never forget it. It was the weirdest place to have a jail, I thought. But I remember when we were setting up our cameras and stuff, there's a big, thick, big door. This freaking door was like real heavy, and it was open. And when we were running around setting everything up, getting ready, all of a sudden we hear this loud boom, and we're like, "What the heck is that?" Well, what we heard was that door shut. That heavy metal door just shut, and the lady who owned the place, she was there with us. She hadn't left yet. And I remember we asked her, does that door shut like that on its own? She said, I've been here 6 years and that door ain't never shut one time. As a matter of fact, you really would have a hard time shutting that door because it was catching on the ground. So it wasn't, and they never had nothing holding the door open. It was just kind of caught on the level of the ground. I know that sounds weird, but it just, you couldn't shut it, she said, but it did. It did. Oh, it was crazy. And we didn't have a recorder on it yet. We were, like I said, we were just running around setting up our cameras and stuff, and we didn't get that. We didn't capture it. That was crazy.
That is crazy. And one of the things that is cool too with the jail that I'm going to on Saturday is they had a really nasty criminal there. So to punish him, he was locked into a cell that was hot pink, and they did not change the paint. So the room still has the hot pink paint on it, and so it's funny how it's like, yeah, this is where the worst of the worst. He stayed in this room. And the women's area, it was interesting because the men's area is these just like you would see on TV. There's 2 beds stacked on top of each other like bunk beds, and that's the cell. And the women's was a closed door that had like 3 or 4 bunk beds attached to the wall, and that was their area. And I was like, apparently the women in Palestine were not as criminally inclined as the men.
Well, only thing I can tell you is I think jails and prisons definitely have some of the most active activity than any other places that we usually go to. I think so.
Yeah.
Because a lot of bad stuff happened, and there's so many deaths and people hurting each other, and bad people in there. I dealt with it all. I had the good, the bad, and the ugly, and doing transports and stuff. I think I was picking up a lot of hitchhikers when I was working in law enforcement, and I mean spirit when I say that, because I would be transporting these inmates to these bigger prisons. And yeah, I always tease my husband and say, when the jail closes down, I'm going to go there and I'm going to investigate that jail, because I know where all the hot spots are, you know?
Oh yeah.
But jails are they're definitely very haunted, and prisons too. They're my favorites.
Have you gone to a jail where the shower would like still had the running water, so it's like the spirits could use that?
Been to the Blackford County Jail a lot in Indiana, and that was the sheriff's. He lived there with his family, and then he ran the jail. And they had the running water.
Yeah, this one it's funny because it's like against the wall in the middle section of the second floor, and they have cameras up so they can catch activity and while they're because they live there, the caretakers, the owners, and so every once in a while, when I'm like over there and talking to people about investigations, and I'll go, yeah, and the shower's still working. He goes, yeah, you can take a shower if you want, and I'll just jokingly remind people, just remember you're on camera. But yeah, it's really interesting seeing. It's like a little square. It's almost like you would see in an RV. It's just a little shower, no doors, and it's like, wow, it's like this image alone would be like enough to keep me as a kid out of this place because,
Yeah. Well,
like, no,
if you've seen some of the stuff I've seen. Yeah. Yeah. It's not good. And even some of the prisons, I've been to the Mansfield prison a lot, and even going into their huge shower rooms, you just think of all the people that would have been in there at the same time having the shower like that. It's like, that's just weird.
and you got to think, these were originally geared towards male population. Women came later, so sometimes they didn't have facilities built in for the women. So it really, I think that adds an element too when you have the co-ed version start happening, that it's like, oh, wait a minute, who's doing what now? Because things are different now.
Yeah. Yeah.
But so we've kind of touched on, places that you're wanting to go to and everything, but where do you, I don't know if I've asked this before, but I'm going to ask it just in case. Where is your goal to see the Ghost Sisters being in like 5 years or 10 years if you're still investigating?
Oh, we'll still be investigating. My grandchildren will be with me investigating. Where do I see us from here? I see us branching out more. I see us going to these places that I'm talking about, hopefully, going to different states, going further out there, maybe go to islands or something like that. I see us branching out more, and I see more of that happening too, but I won't go into that.
I'm curious to keeping the name, but do you see yourself growing in membership and taking on other investigators, male or female, or both, and just
Um,
keeping it Ghost Sisters because that's who you are?
no, I mean my brother, he's been out there a few times with us. And I think he likes to go, but he's actually been out there a few times with us. But I would never change the name. And I would, and I think even if my two sisters don't continue on with me, and I'm a loner, it'll be Ghost Sisters still because that name we had to change. We changed the name one other time when we first started. It used to be when I first started the team, it was Ghost Sisters of Marion, Ohio. And then 2 years into it, we decided we needed to take off where we're from. So we're like, we need to take off that. So we did, and we just left it as Ghost Sisters. And I honestly think that if my sisters didn't continue on for whatever reasons, I would leave it. I wouldn't make it just Ghost Sister. I'd be the only one, and just doing what I do now. I don't think I would add anybody on unless they were. I have other sisters. I don't just have those two. The two that you see on our social media. I have other sisters too. So, but I don't think I would like add them to my team, but I would take them out there with me. Now, when my grandchildren, because I have 4 female granddaughters. I have a set of identical twins, and they're 3 and under. And I honestly believe I see them doing this with me in the future. So if the other 2 sisters don't stay with me, I see my grandchildren being out there with me.
Ah, so it skips a generation.
Yeah, I see it. I see it happening.
No, that's really cool, and I like that you're wanting to keep it going and
Yeah.
passing the torch, so to speak, and
And
letting
I've
them.
already told my family, my sisters, and them. If anything ever happens to me, my grandchildren basically they'll be in control of this page when they're old enough. So they'll take over if Facebook's still up and doing this thing. Who knows from now. But if the page is still up on any of my social media, this is going to be handed over to my grandchildren. So.
Yeah, give it to the wizards.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, that is awesome. And so is there any goal or any thought of if somebody was to come through and say, hey, have you ever thought about, because your sister's doing like Dakota and his sister having a paranormal show where it's the 3 of you, or just your team basically?
Yes, yes. That would be one of my goals. That's always been a goal of mine to get female women out there more. So if we were offered a show, yes, yeah, we would definitely come together and do that. Because like I said, I've always wanted to get the females out there because you just don't see a lot of female teams. I mean, they're out there. I'm not saying they're not, but they're not on YouTube, that many of them. They're not on TV. There's not a whole lot of it. It's usually one woman with all the guys, or you'll see 3 women with the guy, or like that. I've always wanted to push more of the females out there.
Yeah, and I remember when you and I first started talking before even the first episode. You were like, "Oh, you're wanting us on your show? Why are you wanting us on your show?" And I was like, "Because you're an all-female team that's sisters. That's an even bigger bonus." And so I was like, "I want to promote that fact." And you're like, "All right, let's do it." And I was like, "Yeah," and because that is something I've noticed too, is in a lot of the niches of where I do shows, is why is it always got to be the men representing? And believe me, I'm a guy. I got no issue with guys, doing it. It's just I feel like there's got an equal showing. Is if there are females out there investigating, I want to give them airtime as much as I would a male team, because yeah, it's not fair to only show one aspect. You got to show both, and both have something to give and to add.
Yeah. Yep. And I agree with that 100%. Yeah, I do. So yeah, if the opportunity comes along, yeah, definitely. This is my passion. This is what I love to do. If I could do it every night, I'd be doing it every night. I do it as much as I can. I actually retired early from law enforcement to pursue this career, to do it more and to push more and more, get out there to these places I've never been to. I can go when I want now. So I'm able to go during the week. I can go on the weekend. If I want to fly out over here, I fly out over there. As to before, when I was in law enforcement, you know, eventually I worked my way up to having weekends off, and I was on first shift, but still trying to get a day off during the week was really hard. It was hard.
It
and,
is.
and to get a Friday off. So if I wanted to travel out of town, and I always wanted to get a Friday instead of wait until I got off work at 4, sometimes you just, it was hard. It was really hard.
I totally respect that. And Robert has a question for you. Have you been to the historic Fort Wayne in Delray, Michigan, the old Army base? My grandmother worked the cafeteria there, where she met my grandfather when he was based there. It's a great place to investigate and explore.
No, I've never been to that location, but it sounds interesting. And also Tiffany McCall, I was actually looking to book the West Virginia Penitentiary, but unfortunately, they do not. What they told me, I don't think they're open in the winter time. Yeah, so these prisons are hard to book in the winter, and I like to go in the winter because you can get in cheaper. They'll lower the prices because they don't have heat, and you can get in cheaper. But I tried to book that location, and they don't allow investigations in the wintertime because they don't have heat.
No, I totally get that. And being in Texas, we have a kind of standing rule with the paranormal teams of during the summer, if there's no air conditioning, we don't show up.
Oh,
And
I love going in the summer. If you
not in the 100-degree weather.
Well, yeah. The only thing I don't like is the big bugs, and you have to deal with the bats. But if you're in a hot building like that, and all of a sudden you get an ice cold breeze coming out of nowhere, and there's no airflow, to me, that's going to be spirit up on you right there.
Oh,
You know
yeah.
what I'm saying?
And I'm loving right now. My dogs ran outside, and for some reason, I don't know what it is, but every once in a while, one will go out and he'll stand at the door and bark. Then he'll walk in a circle, stand at the door and bark, go in a circle. And we're like, we were first bringing him in, but then we realized, no, we're setting the pattern. If he does that, we'll always let him in. He needs to come in on his own. So he could be out there for like 20 minutes doing this routine. And we don't understand why he does it, why he goes out but then is afraid to come back in.
I don't know.
But that aside, you mentioned you do mediumship and readings, and I'm kind of curious, as we were talking about before with, running across spirits, who may not be earthbound spirits. Have you ever been doing a reading or a mediumship deal where all of a sudden you're like, you are not human? And do you want me to do what to deliver what to this person? Has that ever happened to where like an ET or something came through and was like, I got a message I need to deliver?
Not like how you're putting it, but when I do the readings, yeah, their loved ones come through. I don't get anything like what you're saying. Are you talking about something negative?
No. It could be like a positive being, but it's not a family or like a spirit from Earth, like somebody from up above that's coming in to
You're
say,
talking ET stuff. That's what you're talking about. We'll just say that. No, not that I know of. No. Now through my spirit box, I've heard some weird stuff come through my ink box. That is a spirit box, and it's called the ink box. When we would go to the Ura Shrine in Tennessee, a lot of times the ink box would make weird noises that sounded like it was some alien stuff going on. I don't know, like something was trying to contact us through the box. I don't know. It just sounded weird. And I had made that comment before because it would make like a weird clicking noise. Like I can't explain it, but it was not like from here. It was just weird.
yeah. So have you ever had a encounter or a sighting of anything in the skies you couldn't explain, or not yet?
Not yet, but I've had other stuff, but not that one yet.
All right. Well, what advice or thoughts do you have for the upcoming like generation of paranormal investigators, and also to the women who may want to be doing this but look at the TV shows like you're saying and look at all the teams and be like, oh, this isn't, I have to do this way, so forget it.
Well, I would say if you're a new team starting out, I wouldn't advise going alone. Maybe wait until you get a little bit more time underneath you. And as far as it goes, if women are feeling a little like you don't see a lot of women out there, and you don't let that discourage you. I totally understand how it can be a little discouraging, but don't let that discourage you. If you want to start up a female team, do it. I have an all-female team, but I go a lot of times with a lot of guys that I know that are paranormal investigators. I think I go out with more of the guys that are paranormal investigators than I do just women. And I don't know why it's like that. It's just the way it is. So I don't know. Just, I wouldn't let that discourage you. If you want to really do something like this, just do it. Don't pay attention to none of that. Just do it. If you really want to do it, you'll do it.
And there's 2 comments in the thing, but before I do that, there's always the one thing that always makes me laugh that I wish I had known before I got started is, what's your thought on if you're starting out equipment wise?
I've learned a lot with the equipment. Also, I want to add to that, if you're a new team, you got to learn the difference between dust and orbs. This drives me nuts. Know the difference. Always try to debunk. Not everything is paranormal. Just know that dust is in every damn location. I don't care how clean something is. I don't care. It is there. If they have central air running, there's going to be dust. If they got heat, there's going to be dust. Dust is going to be everywhere. So your cameras, your phones, that IR light will make dust appear like it's more than what it actually is. And a lot of people don't. I try telling people this all the time. If you see something like that, it's most likely dust. If it's and something weird, always pay attention to how it's moving. If it's doing weird things, now if an orb is truly an orb, it is going to do some weird things. It's not just going to, it could stop in front of the camera. Now, if you got something doing some weird stuff like that, then I'm going to say something's probably going on here. This could be an anomaly, something weird, but most of the time it's dust. So you got to learn the difference. When we all first start, we all find that out. Most people, I'm pretty sure most people learn the hard way. I was one of those people that used to think, oh, the dust is it's orbs. I actually used to think this when I first started. I didn't know no better. Nobody taught me. I had to kind of learn as we were out there. So know the difference. Always, when you're using apps, I'm not a big app person. I'm not going to lie to you. We used to use a lot of the apps. We did. But when I learned about a lot of the apps, then I'm like, oh, dang it. So you just got to learn the equipment, learn what you're using, know what's real, what's not. I will say this because Sean Austin is a good friend of mine, and he has created this app. His app is the only one that I'll say that I would truly use, and it's called the SPI, and it's AI doing the communication. And when he had it built, the way he had it designed, it is not, it doesn't have a dictionary in it. So what it's supposed to be doing is picking up, it's almost like a recorder. So if it hears a disembodied voice, it translates it into words, and it'll say it through it, and it'll cuss you out. I mean, this thing says anything. I have been out there and this app was on with him. This thing has cussed me out, called me an F and B, stupid dumb bee, you name it. Now, what app out there is like that? I don't know because I don't use a lot of the apps, but his app is different, and I do try to support him, and I will use his app sometimes out there. So if I'm going to use one, that would be the only one that I would suggest. That one.
All right, and
you got to be careful with K2s. So just know that REM pods and K2s, you really got to be careful.
Oh yeah. Diane says, and Mandy always says, "Oh no," and turns the box off.
What's she talking about?
And you have a new member.
Hey, Christina. Thank you. Yes, we've heard the EVP and the SPI say some things at the same time. Yeah. I think that app he's got it's something different going on here because it's AI. There's no app that uses AI that I know of, like how his is designed. You just gotta know what you're using, know what's real, what's not. You just learn as you go. That's all I can say. You learn as you go. I have tons of equipment I don't even use no more.
So do I.
I've got in my what I call my paranormal closet here. I got hundreds and hundreds of money thrown into these equipment, and I don't even use half of it. He's talking about the brainwave. That is something I do have, and I don't use it a whole lot, but it is a unique device. It's like doing the Estes on steroid. We'll just say that. Katie Stafford made it, and I'm one of the lucky ones to have it. Only 5 people have one, and I'm one of those people that have it. And it actually is designed to read your brain waves, and it connects to a spirit box. And the spirit box does not have, or what do you call it, where you can, how you can, it doesn't have a sweep is what I'm trying to say. It don't have a sweep. So how he designed it is it reads your mind, your brain, and whatever you're thinking comes through that box, and you have to use your mind to speed it up because it doesn't have a built-in sweep. So when it first turns on, it's like really slow. But when you focus and concentrate, you can speed that box up, and then it starts working really good. I've done it, but it's quite interesting. I haven't quite figured out how to really go about using it in the field because you can do the Estes, but it's just a little different when you do it.
I'd be worried about something reading my thoughts and verbalizing, because sometimes I'm thinking stuff about what's going on that I'm watching and going, yeah, I'm glad this voice is in my head and only in my head, because I'd probably get in a lot of trouble calling people out for stuff. And it's like, yeah, I'm guilty of it sometimes too. That's why I keep quiet.
Well, my sister don't need a brainwave. She just says whatever the hell she wants. You heard that tonight. She started talking. She started talking about one of the incidents where she was saying out loud to a spirit about, the type of women the spirit would date. You heard it. I'm like,
Oh,
oh
yeah.
my gosh. She's just something else. She definitely doesn't need the brainwave on her because I don't want to know. I got to listen to it enough.
Yeah, but we're actually approaching an hour and a half, and so I know you got things to do as well. And so thank you for your time, and thank you for coming on again and sharing with us everything that's going on now and updating us somewhat.
Yeah, I do want to say tune in, guys. Friday, my sister Bobby Joe will be with me Friday. So she hasn't been able to go out there in a while with us due to her boyfriend. He was in a coma for like 3 months because he passed out in front of her and he hit his head and it put him in a coma. So he's out of the hospital now, but he just like 3 weeks ago, he had to have surgery. So he had to have a metal plate put in his head. He's doing good, but his memory's not. When you talk to him, he's kind of not like he'll wander off. Like you can tell there's a big difference. So his memory isn't like the same yet. So she worries about leaving him alone. So she's not been going out there. Or if she does go, she wants him to come. And the last time they both came, it was too hot for him, and she was afraid he was going to pass out. And we were in Kentucky at that time. So Friday, she's going to come with me, and he will be there. That's the only way I can get her to go because she's so worried about leaving him alone. She takes care of him.
Yeah, I can understand and respect that.
But she'll be with me Friday, so I'm excited for that. And we will be live.
Well, cool. And tell her I hope he gets to feeling better.
Yeah, he's doing better. He's just his memory is not all there. He just brings up a lot of stuff from the past. Like you'll start talking to him, and then he just starts talking about something else, and he's just not. You can just tell, But it'll take a while, they said, for him to get everything back. So.
Yeah. Well, blessings to her and him, and our thoughts are with them. And thank you, Mandy, for all that you're doing for the paranormal community as well.
Thank you. Well, thank you for doing all these podcasting and bringing different people on.
Yeah. And so, everybody, if you want, I know I'm kind of speaking to the choir here, so to speak, because they're all pretty much your people in the chat room. But if you want to follow the Ghost Sisters and you're unsure where to find them, all their social media links are in the description, so you should be able to find them. Do check them out. They do have a lot of fun videos as well as investigation videos, so there's something for everybody on the channel, as I like to say.
You ain't lying.
So, any last thoughts before we sign out?
Nope. Just if you want to follow us and watch some live investigations, follow us. We're on all social media. We go live on TikTok, Facebook, and YouTube, and Rainbow. So if you're not on Rainbow, download the app. We are on Rainbow under Ghost Sisters.
I'll be honest, I've never heard of Rainbow.
You can follow me on Intuitive Medium Mandy if you're interested in Reiki or if you're interested in readings. So
very cool. So thank you, and I'm like, this is not my night. I'm like, somehow
You're
blinking
not our
out.
Chastity's Chastity, but Chastity's always like that. I'm like, wake up, Linda, wake up. She's just like, I'm like, Chastity, are you with me?
Oh, let's see. We got Ghost Tracks is saying good night.
Good night, everyone.
And apparently, some people are just tuning in, so you guys will want to go back and rewatch the replay. Totally worth it. Besides my fumbles, it's the joys. It's the fun of having live shows. It's gonna happen.
I worry about my sister because I don't know what the hell's going to fly out of her mouth. And there was stuff that flew out of her mouth. I'm like, oh my God. Oh, Lord. Yeah.
Oh, somebody is mentioning Sean is on tonight too.
No, yeah.
All right. Well, oh yeah, there you go. I'll blame it on the full moon.
Full moon's tomorrow night, but yeah, it's a super moon, so it's really bright out there right now.
I'll have to go out and check it out. But thank you, and it's always a pleasure to have you and your team on, and I look forward to next year with the new season. If things are coming up, let me know, and we'll see about bringing you guys back on again.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you, Michael.
Yeah. Have a great night, and blessings to you all. And everyone, thank you for enjoying, and thank you for a super active chat room. I had a hard time keeping up with it, so hope I didn't miss any questions. And thank you all, and we'll see you guys on the next episode. Good night.